How's it going, everybody? It is iVisual. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to some more Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battles in the NU tier here today versus Legion. And if you guys do enjoy these types of videos, make sure to leave a like and show your support. It helps me grow, and also the team I'm using is in the description down below. So I'm just going to lead off with Vanillux over here because Vanillux seems to be pretty nice in the NU tier. It can do a lot of work, especially since I'm using a Choice Specs modest set. It can just punch through everything, especially if they're running a bulky fire type, which they like to do with Magmortar, and with me, I'm running a pretty bulky Incineroar. So leads off with Delmise, probably expecting me to lead off with my Cybertoad. That's understandable because I do like to get my rocks up first turn, just helping out, weakening all the fire types and stuff. So he just brings in Mega Man right there. That seems to be a Soul Vest because that barely took anything. Specs Blizzard does a lot more. Also, it's nice that I can never miss a Blizzard in the Hail. So he pulls a nice switch into Vaporeon, probably expecting me to want to go for a switch, or it also covers me going for another Blizzard as well. Cybertoad can't really do too much except for Toxic, but Vaporeon could potentially have Heal Bell on there. So I decided to just get my rocks up. He could have went to Delmise right there and just go for a Rapid Spin just to get rid of the rocks so that none of his Pokemon can take any chip damage, but I guess he decided to just go for a Tox right there and whittle me down some more, so that's pretty nice play since I have no real way to get rid of the Toxic on my team, and I can't really do much back to Vaporeon unless I want to try and Toxic stall it down. But at the same time, like I said, he has 8 PP and Heal Bell if he does pack it, so that could be annoying. If he is packing it, which he couldn't probably not be. He probably has like Scald, Wish, Protect, and Toxic as his move slots. Most Vaporeons have that, maybe max HP and max defense. So I decided to bring in my Decidueye over here. Decidueye is a pretty nice switch into a lot of water types in the tier because it can take anything. It has recovery, it can defog reliably as well. Over here, I just go for the U-turn. That's another big thing with Decidueye. It does have reliable momentum, and you can just go for the U-turn and bait in those Golbats or any other Pokemon that likes to switch in on the Decidueye. So I'm going to be using a max HP modest set with Decidueye, and with Leaf Storm it packs a punch. So I go for Freeze right here. Unfortunately, I do get a Freeze. I expected maybe Vaporeon to want to come in. Also just hits hard. He doesn't have a too good switching, especially since I have my rocks up, and he probably wanted to go for a Defogger right there. I'm not too sure what he went for, but I would assume maybe a Rooster or a Defog from him because you want to keep Magmortar a little bit healthy, since with rocks up it can't really keep on switching on Vanillux since it just keeps getting whittled down a lot and a lot, and that's the problem with Vanillux. And with rocks up it can be really annoying. So anyways, he brought in Klinklang as I go into my Incineroar. Got that clear body, so no Intimidate. And he just goes for the Shift Gear, which is interesting because I don't think he can one-shot me with anything. So he just switches out, maybe trying to bait me to just go for the fire move and, you know, not over-predict and stuff like that, because sometimes that is a good play just to set up right in front of somebody, and so they're kind of forced to just attack that Pokemon. Like, I wouldn't want to try and go for maybe a knockoff on the Klinklang when it's set up like that, because what if he has, like, maybe a normal EMZ or Electrium Z? That could do quite a bit of damage to Incineroar, even though I do have the Pinch Berry on my Incineroar. So I just go for U-turn. I could have just hard switched it. It was pretty risky for me to do that, but just an odd chance maybe it didn't wish. Plus I can even take a Scald. So I don't know, just a little bit of chip damage, but honestly I should have just hard switched. Also, bringing in Klinklang is kind of risky as well because he could potentially burn me with a Scald, but I wanted to just try and break through and set up, but he does switch into Mega Man right there. I am packing the Electrium Z as well on Klinklang, so that's what I was kind of hoping for, maybe to break through Vaporeon and stuff like that. So unfortunately that is not going to be the case because Magmortar can take a hit, especially when it's at max HP. So I just go into my Incineroar, should be able to take a Fire Blast, which is what I expect, and now he fires off the Focus Blast. Luckily it's not going to be fighting Z because that would have blown my Incineroar back. I was guessing it's probably Z-move Klinklang though, but I think he showed probably leftovers on his Klinklang, if I remember. So just going to go for the knockoff. Focus Blast does a lot, but since the Pinch Berry is on Incineroar, I get to heal a lot, and then unfortunately he misses a Focus Blast right there, so I got pretty lucky versus his Pokemon. I froze his Golbat, and then I dodged the Focus Blast right there, which, I mean, I didn't really need the Freeze on there, because Freeze Dry would have done a lot to anything. He would have went for the Defog or the Roost on Golbat, like I said, and probably would have nabbed the kill, because he would either have to get rid of rocks or switch out. So, anyways, in comes Heliolisk on my Incineroar after I get rid of that Magmortar's Assault Vest, and that's pretty good for me because now Vanillux is going to be great with Magmortar just being gone. And just otherwise, pretty nice switch into the Heliolisk unless he goes for a Dark Pulse, but luckily he didn't. I mean, I doubt he would want to go for a Dark Pulse unless he predicts me to go into Decidueye. So I'll go for the U-turn as in comes in the Kling, and I can just bring in Incineroar again. I should be able to take anything, especially since he's not +1, and I can just go for the Flare Blitz and hopefully knock out this Kling. As he reveals, he's going to be packing Substitute. I just go for a knockoff as well, since it kind of breaks a Kling Substitute, and I expected him to want to switch out into Vaporeon. And at least since he's not Z-move, he can do a lot of damage to the Kling as well. But I expected him to switch out right there into Vaporeon, which he does. So get rid of Vaporeon's item, which is nice. No more leftovers, and it's one step closer to winning, maybe with Vanillux and just blizzarding everything. So he just goes for the Wish right there. I go for U-turn. Still risky play to go for U-turn because I don't want to take a move, but at the same time, it is a little bit of chip damage. So in comes Kling, and I'm just going to go for the Shift Gear right here and just try and break through something. I could just go for the Electrum Z, but I did want to save it for maybe his Kling, so I actually don't go for Electrum Z. I go for Wild Charge against the Vaporeon right here. And that was kind of a risky play. I probably shouldn't have done that, but it doesn't knock out the Vaporeon, so he's definitely max HP, max defense. And I get knocked out by Scald right there, so that kind of sucks. Should have went for the Electrum Z, but oh well. So now in comes Vanillux, and I just fire off a Freeze Dry right here. Since he has no good switch into Vanillux, everything is pretty weakened and in range of getting 2-hit KO'd on a switch-in, so actually I fire off a Blizzard, not Freeze Dry, since Vaporeon was already weakened, so I don't need to. And now in comes the Kling, and Kling, I'm just going to stay in and go for the Blizzard because I don't want to give it free setup, especially because if it Shift Gears on my Blizzard and I switch out, maybe it can knock out some of my Pokemon. But I do have Toad, which is toxic, but I just want to put it in range of not going for a Substitute. Like, that's the real reason. I just don't want it going for a Substitute and being annoying and maybe Toxic stalling my Toad. So I guess he didn't even try it, but I was scared of him trying to Substitute right there if I switched out. It's worth sacking my Vanillux as well, since at this point in the game I didn't think I really needed it anymore, even though it does nab a kill every single time it comes in. So, getting knocked out by the Gear Garnet there, going to my Toad, and Toad is just going to go and knock out the Kling, as I can just take anything. Gear Grind won't do too much, and if he is going to be Electrum Z, that won't knock me out either. So, I'm going to go for the Scald, knock him out, and maybe feels like normal Allium Z, that could have been good, but he just left over his Kling, so not going to be doing anything. And Toad is still a little bit healthy, where maybe it could take on another Pokemon, but in comes Davy Jones, which is going to be his Delmise, and this actually is packing a move that I didn't expect. I thought usually they're like a Soul Vest or Choice Band. So I just go for the Toxic, maybe just an off chance that it could have some form of recovery and be annoying. But he fires off the Z move, and I'm like, whoa, okay, it's going to be a Z move Delmise, really offensive. I prefer maybe Choice Band because Choice Band hits like a truck, but Z-move also hits like a truck as well, but you can only hit it like a truck like once. So, and down goes my Toad. It could do a lot of damage though if I switched into Incineroar, that's for sure. Even with the Intimidate, since Delmise has a lot of attack. But at this point of the game, I don't really need Toad anymore. Even though it could be nice for the Heliolisk, I can't do much back to Heliolisk because I can only go for a Toxic versus it. So I'm just going to go for the Flare Blitz and knock out the Davy Jones here. And then his last Pokemon I think is just the Heliolisk, and I'm just going to try and knock that out with whatever else I got, which should be able to do it with my Decidueye, since Decidueye, I think he's probably locked into a move with his Heliolisk, either like Choice Specs or Choice Scarf, either or. I would assume maybe Choice Specs since it does a lot of damage. But it's not going to do much to my Decidueye. If you went for Dark Pulse, I don't think he even knocked down Incineroar if he does have that. Then he would get fogged by a Flare Blitz. So down he goes to the Leaf Storm right there, and that is going to be a GG versus Legion right there. And yeah, looks like Kling could have done a lot of work, but I didn't go for the Electrum Z versus Vaporeon, which I should have. So next up we have versus Joey, and Joey has a really cool team with a Frostlass, one of my favorite ice types in the game, since it is part Ghost, and Ghost is my favorite type as well. And yeah, I don't really have a too good switch into Sigilyph, so I got to be careful with that. My best switch in is like Comfy, since Sigilyph does have a really good move pool and it's pretty strong, especially with Life Orb and Magic Guard. And what I need to win this game is probably Kling, because Kling can beat everything except for like the Incineroar, and maybe if I can weaken the Hitmontop. Since Hitmontop's Intimidate doesn't lower my Clear Body Kling, like Incineroar as well. And Electrum Z will do a lot of work to maybe Incineroar or the Hitmontop, since Hitmontop usually can't really take a +1 or maybe even +2 Kling Z move. So with that in mind, I'm just going to try and break through first with Vanillux, since Vanillux is really good at just punching holes through teams. I love leading off with this guy and just like clicking Blizzard. It's just so satisfying in that new tier because there's no good switch into it that has reliable recovery at least. So he leads off Frostlass, so that's going to be his dedicated lead, and I'm just going to go for the Flash Cannon as I just want to, you know, do a lot of damage to the Frostlass, super effective, and if he does bring in the Diancie as well, I could just, like, destroy that thing. So he gets his spikes up right there, and unfortunately I got Curse Body, but luckily Struggle does hit Ghost types, even though it is a normal type move, but unfortunately I do take recoil damage right there, so that kind of sucks. But now in comes the Diancie, and man, I wish I wasn't Cursed Body because I would have blown this Diancie back, but oh well. I'm just going to go into my Decidueye and go for the Defog because he actually just gets up all his hazards, which is fine because, like I said, Decidueye Defog. So, I doubt he wants to stay in because Decidueye can just bop a Diancie with a Grass move. I think Diancie can live 1 though, since Diancie is just naturally bulky, but I doubt he wants Diancie to take that damage. And plus he has a really good switch in, which is the Incineroar. Unless I'm going to be like Fighting MZ low sweep, I can't do much to Incineroar. And there you go, Defog, goodbye Spikes, and goodbye Stealth Rocks. So his Frostlass was pretty useless. I mean, at least it did do a little bit of damage to my Vanillux, at least. So he starts going for some bulk ups right here. I just go for the U-turn just to do a little bit of chip damage and see what his speed tier is. Seems like he's running a lot of speed on the Incineroar. Even though Decidueye isn't running speed at all either, I'm running a little bit of speed, where maybe I could tell if Incineroar is running a lot of speed. So yeah, he's definitely running some speed. I bring in Cybertoad because I want to go for the Toxic, and usually bulk up Incineroars do have weakness policy. So that's what I'm kind of basing this Incineroar off. It's going to be like weakness policy, Drain Punch, Power Trip, and bulk up with like Power Trip, Drain Punch, bulk up, and then filler moves like Flame Charge is usually what this set is. Maybe he could change it a little bit though. So Power Trip does a nice chunk. I decided to get my Stealth Rocks up right there since maybe if he wants to switch out Incineroar, and also just does a lot of more damage to the rest of his team as well. Since nothing I can really do else with my Time Stone except for go for a Scald, but like I said, I don't want to give him weakness policy and he might live the Scald. So he goes for a bulk up right there, probably predicting my Protect, as I already showed Protect, kind of just Toxic stalling him. And he goes for, I think, the Drain Punch over here and gets a little bit more chip recovery, which kind of sucks. But that's fine because I decided to just sack my Cybertoad either way, looking at his team. It wasn't really that too great with Sigilyph and the Diancie. It could switch in on Diancie though, and maybe take a Moonblast, but Diancie could be annoying though, and Vileplume as well. But yeah, Comfrey is going to have that priority Draining Kiss, and I can just one-shot the Incineroar from the range it was at, but unfortunately he decides to save it, and then Vileplume gives me the Effect Spore, and then I get paralyzed right there, which sucks. But at least it doesn't matter too much since, like I said, Comfy has Triage, and it's +3 priority with healing moves. So I'm going to go into Vanillux as I just want to punch another hole in his team, as I can take the Sludge Bomb. Luckily he didn't go for like a Sleep Powder or something like that, predicting me to switch, as Comfy can't do much to Vileplume, so unless maybe I'm having like a hidden power, like Fire or something. So he decides to stack Incineroar right there as it just goes down to the rocks, and I just fire off a Blizzard. Smart play because he doesn't want to lose something else, because why would you sack something else when you have Incineroar just to sack right there? So Sigilyph is definitely match guard, doesn't take any Stealth Rock damage. I don't have a too good switch in, like I said, so I bring in my Comfy. This is like one of the weaknesses of this team over here is Sigilyph. So I'm just going to go for a Synthesis. Unfortunately that was a misplay because I should have went for a Draining Kiss, because with Hail Up I kind of forgot that Synthesis doesn't heal you all the way, so I should have went for the Draining Kiss, and you see that damage on Draining Kiss? Ooh, that is some beautiful damage. Like, 2 Draining Kisses would have been amazing on this Sigilyph right here, putting in range of a lot of attacks, like probably any attack, maybe even a Leaf Storm from the Decidueye, because the Decidueye could maybe take a hit from Sigilyph and maybe knock it out with like a Leaf Storm. So that kind of sucks, but oh well, I misplayed. So I'm going to go into my Incineroar, as Incineroar is the Pokemon that is like the best way to deal with my Sigilyph at this point, since it's the only way I can maybe take a hit. And I just go for the knockoff as Hitmontop comes in, and can't really do much to Hitmontop, so I'm just going to hard switch, as he actually pulls a hard switch as well into Vileplume. It's a very nice play, pulling a double. Probably expecting me to want to switch out, like that's obvious. And Decidueye can just go for the U-turn, and it is risking an Effect Spore, but it's a little bit of chip damage on the Vileplume, which is nice. And I'm just going to go into my Incineroar over here. And Incineroar is kind of my way of dealing with Vileplume now, since it is pretty bulky, especially defensively. It's careful nature with max HP and a little bit of defense. And I actually go for the Earthquake here, kind of expect him to want to switch out maybe into his Diancie. So unfortunately I got that play wrong. I should have Flare Blitz right there, and he goes for the Sleep Powder and puts me to sleep. So that's really bad, but hey, that's really good for him. So really bad for me. So now I'm going to go into my Klinklang. He can't Sleep Powder me again because of Sleep Claws, but he does have Strength Stat. But luckily, Klinklang does have Clear Body, and yeah, I'm not going to get lowered attack with my Klinklang, so that's pretty good. And I can go for a Shift Gear on the Vileplume, and he can't really do much to me back unless I start attacking him. So now in comes Hitmontop. I don't get intimidated with the Clear Body, so that's pretty good. And from the Hitmontop's range, I was kind of hoping that maybe I can one-shot it with the Electrium Z. I was doing a little bit of calcing, and it should be able to knock him out. So he goes for Fake Out, and then goes for Mach Punch, and that is not going to be able to knock out my Klinklang. A little bit of chip damage though. Maybe it's put in range of Vileplume to knock it out, which is nice for him. But it's not going to live this Electrium Z Gigavolt Havoc, which is pretty good for me. And yeah, Hitmontop's going to actually drop over here. So Klinklang with that Clear Body comes in handy a lot of the time. It's pretty nice. Could also help out with Sticky Webbers since it doesn't get its speed lowered. So Clear Body, you need to give Shift Gear to Metagross, to be honest, with Clear Body. That could be really good. But anyways, I probably should have Shift Geared up again right there. I don't know why I didn't, because now I just risked myself getting Effect Spored like you guys just saw. I got put to sleep by this Vileplume. So that kind of sucks. I guess I was just scared of maybe him two-shotting me with Giga Drain or something like that, which it looks really close, I think, when I calced it. So I didn't want to risk it, and I could have beaten him with, like, you know, just going for 4 Gear Grinds. 1, 2, 1, 2. Since Gear Grind hits twice. Like, as you can see, the damage does a lot of damage. And Vileplume is usually, like, a really bold defensive Pokemon in the NU tier, at least. So now I wake up, which is pretty good, but unfortunately I get paralyzed, which didn't really matter since I didn't get full parried right there. But it really does suck that I got put to sleep. And I don't think in Pokemon Showdown it would work like that, because once a Pokemon's already asleep, it doesn't allow another Pokemon to fall asleep, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong about that. But unfortunately in Wi-Fi battles, you know, there is no Sleep Clause, so that kind of sucks. But anyways, I bring in my Vanillux, and I'm just going to get balked by this Sigilyph now because nothing else speeds it, and I have no switching for it anymore. Unfortunately, I'm not a Choice Scarf Vanillux. That would have been great to deal with the Sigilyph, but nope. Incineroar is asleep, so I gotta kind of hope that I can wake up and deal with this Sigilyph. But Air Slash is just doing way too much damage, and also he has a chance to flinch, so unfortunately I don't wake up right here, and then he goes for another Air Slash, and maybe I was hoping for getting a Pinch Berry, which I do get. Luckily no critical hit, but Incineroar is still fast asleep, so come on Incineroar, wake up for me, baby, and I can knock out Sigilyph. But he goes for another Air Slash, and Incineroar is not going to wake up, so that is going to be a gone Incineroar, and then Sigilyph is going to, you know, murder me. Unfortunately, I got, like, back sleep turns right there, so a lot of dang sleeping in this game, but oh well. That is the Pokemon for you. I did get lucky in the first game with that freeze and the Poke Blast to miss, so I guess this is karma for me. And now Decidueye goes down, which I was kind of hoping Decidueye would live since I have max HP and has really good special defense naturally, but Sigilyph is just too dang strong. So yeah, GG to Joey. He did a really good battle right there. And now I think that is going to be the end of the video, unless I have another video battle, I think, in post-editing. I don't know, you guys will see. Alrighty, so this last battle here is from my live stream. It's going to be a little bit laggy, but it's a really good battle. Unfortunately, I have to show it this way because the literally last turn of this battle, it disconnected, so that's really unfortunate. But it's a good battle, so I really wanted to show it. It's going to be laggy though, so if you don't want to see laggy gameplay, I can understand. So I lead off of Vanillux as he leads off of Sceptile. I just wanted to go for a nice Specs hit, but I do predict him to want to switch out, and as well, I do not want to take a Focus Blast, so I'm going to switch out to Decidueye, as he actually switched out into Incineroar, so I guess he didn't want to miss a Focus Blast right there. Let's go for the U-turn just to see if he's going to run a lot of speed on Incineroar. He's not. It's going to be a bulky Incineroar, and just goes for Knockoff as I bring in my Incineroar, gets rid of my Pinch Berry, which does suck, and yeah, we just take some hail damage. I go for Knockoff of my own, get rid of his item, he just U-turns on out. And now he brings in Passimian, which is gonna threaten me out because I don't want to take a close combat, but I predict him to go for the U-turn because it's pretty obvious that he wants to go for U-turn. I have the Sidwai as a switch into close combat, and plus maybe he wants to go for knockoff, predicting the Sidwai. So I just go for a double knockoff. Just an off chance he does go for knockoff, I can get rid of Pissimian's item. But he does bring in Incineroar again, intimidates me, and I can just go for the Earthquake. And unfortunately, he does not KO his Incineroar because since I got intimidated, and he can KO me with his Earthquake, so that kind of sucks. But at least Incineroar is weakened to the point where Vanillux can just go in on his team because he has no good switching to past my Vanillux. So just bringing my Vanillux over here, he actually switches out Incineroar into the Slowbro. So I probably should have Freeze Dry right there, but look how much Blizzard does. That's not even super effective, that's resisted, and it literally can almost 3-shot. Oh, almost 2-shot, but 3-shot the Slowbro. It does have Regenerator though, which kind of sucks, but just on a sliver HP, it lives after the hail damage. I was just like, dang man, so close to knocking out the Slowbro. So he throws off Toxic, which is smart because that puts me on a timer. I don't have any Heal Bell or Cleric on my team, so he's just going to sack his Incineroar as I just go for another Blizzard. So now over here he brings in Passimian. Now I don't want to lose with Vanillux, I'm just going to go into the Sidwai as Vanillux just kind of claims one every single time it comes in, like I said, as he just throws off the safe close combats as I go into my Decidueye. So now I just go for the U-turn, predict him want to switch out as in comes the Steelix, which wouldn't have taken a Leaf Storm, but I guess, you know, he doesn't have too much switch-ins to a Decidueye on his team. So anyways, I bring in my Toad. I'm just going to get my Stealth Rocks up now and just chip away at everything as he decides to get his own Stealth Rocks up. So good play, predict me to want to go for Stealth Rocks. I thought maybe he would be scared of Scald and maybe bring in Slowbro, but Slowbro did not come out. So now in comes the Slowbro and takes that Scald, and then it switches out to get some more Regenerator and bring in the Sceptile as I just fire off another Scald because I was hoping that maybe I can knock out the Slowbro from the range it was at, but it's smart for him to get the Regenerator back. So Sceptile goes for Giga Drain, let's go for Protect, and I'm just going to not let that thing knock out my Toad, and I'm just going to go into my Decidueye. And also it's a nice scout to see what Sceptile goes for because I predict it to be Choice Specs, as most Sceptiles are. So now I just go for Roost just to get some more HP back and stay out of range from Sceptile knocking me out with anything, and in came the Slowbro, which is interesting. I guess maybe he wanted to get some more Regenerator right there. Pretty risky, but I guess he pretty much predicted me not to go for Leaf Storm, so... in came the Sigilyph. I don't have a too good switch for that, but I did weaken it a lot with that Leaf Storm, which is nice. And my switch-in is Comfy. So Comfy is just going to go for the Draining, not the Draining, because the Synthesis, because it does have a chance to miss the Air Slash, and I want to be healthy enough to the point where maybe I can keep switching in on Sigilyph, since Comfy is my best way of dealing with it. And also I thought he would probably want to switch out, which he finally did, but unfortunately... I go for the Draining Kiss right there, so he got me at the literal right turn when I went for Draining Kiss, and he brought in Steelix, which I thought he would have brought in before, but he kept going for Air Slash. So now I'm going to my Seismitoad, as Seismitoad can easily take on Steelix, unless he has Toxic, that could suck, but luckily he just goes for the Gyro Ball, so maybe he does not have Toxic on there. So he has to take another Scald, but I am packing the Toxic, and I predict the Slowbro to want to come out, and I land a nice Toxic on there, putting that thing on a timer, which is very, very good. So now Slowbro is not going to be too much of a threat for the rest of my team. Being on a timer, it's not going to like stall me out. So in comes Sceptile. I just go for the Protect and just get some more leftovers recovery and try to stall out Toxic more. And now in comes the Sigilyph. It's going to be Magic Arts. It's not taking any Stealth Rock damage, and I'm predicting it to probably want to be Life Orb. That's what I was expecting. But it's interesting that I think he's not. He critical hit my Comfy right there, which I probably would have lived the hit. That's unfortunate that he did, because I would have Draining Kissed and knocked him out. But now over here, I actually thought I lost to the Sigilyph because I brought in a Seismitoad. I thought he would have Energy Ball, but he goes for Air Slashes as I Protect. I'm like, wait a second, is he not Life Orb? And I guess he's not, so that really surprised me. I thought most Sigilyphs are going to be Life Orb. So that's really good for me. He takes that Scald pretty well, which I was surprised, thought he would get knocked out, but oh well. I guess Seismitoad is not that strong, or Sigilyph is bulkier than I thought. So I take that Air Slash, and I'm going to knock him out, and luckily no Air Slash flinch right there. But unfortunately, Seismitoad was weakened a lot from those Air Slashes. But since Sigilyph is gone, that's beautiful. Since I don't have to deal with it anymore, I have little no switching for it. So then comes this Slowbro. I just go for Protect to, you know, get some more leftovers recovery and Toxic damage on the Slowbro. Gonna go into my Kling as I do not want to take a Toxic on the Seismitoad. Even though I could be risking a Scald Burn, I doubt he would want to go for it on my Seismitoad, since Seismitoad is immune to it. So I double back into Seismitoad as I predict the Steelix want to come out, which I do get. It's right there, which is good. I get some more leftovers recovery with my Seismitoad, which I want, so that maybe I can just kind of win the game with Size Toad potentially. I go for another Scald, and he brings in Slowbro, and I get some more Leftovers Recovery, and he takes some more Toxic, which is good for me, whittling him down more. Even though he has a Regenerator, I am still gaining more HP with Leftovers. That's the plan with my Size Toad, so I can take on his team. Go for Protect as he goes for Slack Off, good play. And I'm just going to switch out into my Decidueye. Decidueye at this point, if he wants to go for Toxic or Scald, Decidueye Leaf Storm can maybe even nab one, since Felix doesn't really take it well since I'm modest Decidueye. So I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm. He decides to sack Slowbro, which is amazing for me. Don't have to deal with that Toxic and Regenerator anymore, and now all he has left is the Sceptile, the Steelix, and the Passimian, I do believe. He goes for the Hidden Power, I take that, I'm max HP, and I just go for the U-turn. Unfortunately, the Sceptile does live on a Sliver, which sucks, but I get to bring in Vanillux, and with the Hail, it is going to knock out the Sceptile from the range it is at. So that is very awesome for me. And now I think he just brings in Passimian, as that is the only thing that can threaten me out. Steelix is not going to appreciate a Blizzard. And I decided to just sack my Vanillux over here because I want the Passimian to lower its defenses so that maybe I can potentially knock it out when I go into my Decidueye. And also be immune to it as well, since I am Ghost and I'm pretty sure he's locked in close combat. And then maybe I can knock him out with Leaf Storm. But I just go for Rooster right here because I kind of predict him to want to switch out on Steelix, and I guess maybe I was thinking that I can take a hit from the Steelix, and maybe I could also play mind games, and maybe he'd want to go for an Earthquake or something, predicting me to go into Kling Kling, I don't know. Or Size since Size Toad can take a Gyro Ball, but unfortunately he goes for a Gyro Ball to safe play, as I go for Leaf Storm, and I'm just going to go down to the Poison, and Steelix just knocks me out. So I bring in Kling Kling over here, and Kling Kling has Magnet Rise, and unfortunately I thought I would catch him by surprise, but he goes for Roar, so very good play. I did not expect him to go for Roar right there. I thought he'd go for Earthquake, and then I can just go for a Shift Gear, but then he'd go for the Roar, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So I was just really surprised he went for the Roar and not the Earthquake right there. So anyways, I brought in the Roar brought in Toad, which is awesome. I get some more Leftovers Recovery, and Steelix should not be able to beat my Toad, and plus I doubt he wants to switch in the Passimian on my Toad, since that is risking a burn, and I can just Protect and get some more Leftovers. So it's looking pretty good for Toad, since I am max HP, max defense. Go for Protect, get some more Leftovers as he goes for the close combats, and now my plan is to just sack something, which is my Kling Kling, my other last Pokemon, and lower the defense of the Passimian, and then bring in Toad again, and then go for Protect, get some more Leftovers, and then he's going to go for close combats. I live, and then he's going to be at -2 special defense, and then I should be able to knock him out with the Scald. I calculated and everything, it should be able to knock it out. Then it disconnects, literally on the last turn. I was like, dang, that really sucks. And I don't know if it was his internet or if it was my internet. I don't think it was my internet because it pops up right there if you guys see connected to the internet. But I mean, it's probably maybe just the servers on Nintendo. It happens all the time in Wi-Fi battling in the Festival Plaza, like all the time. Like every single time I live stream, it just always happens. So I doubt it would be him. I would probably blame it on the Nintendo servers. But yeah, anyways, that is going to be it for the video today. I just wanted to show that, even though it was very laggy, hope you guys didn't mind too much. But hey, I just wanted to show. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace. Make sure to give a fat like if you want these more us Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon Wi-Fi battles too. So yeah, bye!